All right, hello everyone. As you know, we're from Ysgol Bryn Alyn. My name's Eliza, and this is...
Hi, I'm Ryan, and we're going to talk about belonging today. I've got a quote about belonging. It is about adding value, not just being valued. The definition of belonging is the feeling of security and being safe in a specific place. An example of belonging is students belong to a school, the school can belong to the community, and the community can belong to the country. You can clearly see that schools and people across the world can belong somewhere, but this can spread everywhere. From the students to all the people in Wales, everyone can belong somewhere.
Well, you've already heard my name, so I'll go on. There's an undeniable problem going around schools in the area and the world. For teenagers in Ysgol Bryn Alyn, the first thing we do is aggressively stare in the mirror. I've experienced firsthand what it's like to be different. Stares, whispers, comments, the lot. I'd like to change this. Race, weight, and fashion are large competitors in stigmatization. Anyone who doesn't fit within an impossible standard is criticized, left out, or even bullied. This isn't right, and you know it, because we're all different. But the one thing we have in common is that we're all a community. You have the right to be yourself. I've been laughed at more times than I can count, and I can count pretty high. 4, for not fitting in. No one should have to face prejudice for the way they look. Frankly, it's not fair. Over 14% of high school students, on average, consider the idea of suicide because of bullying. Consider what I've said the next time you see someone being bullied for the way they look.
This is Alice. There are lots of different accents, behaviours and ways to talk. They're all part of belonging. People have different accents because of their cultural history or their peers and family and their accents. You just pick them up. People act differently around people or in groups because you react off how other people are acting. You talk differently to your friends than your family because your brain does a thing called style shifting. Style shifting is when you change the way you talk from more casual to more formal depending on who you're speaking to. A great deal of human behaviour is motivated by the time of desire for the acceptance belonging. Some people will change the way they act or speak to fit in, when they shouldn't have to change the way they act to be friends with somebody or to fit in.
I'm Year 8 student Jawad, and I'm going to be answering today's big question: why is belonging so important? Well, research shows that belonging buffers against stress, provides emotional stability and support during challenging times. But that's not all what belonging can help with. It can help someone feel important, feel like they're in a group, feel like, well, they belong. And although social exclusion does no harm to a body, it activates the same areas of the brain as physical pain. And this has taken a toll on many people. More than 40% of adults aged between 18 to 34 reportedly believe they are left out. And 33% of people aged 16 or above in England say they don't belong in their areas. But there's even more. Over 50% of ethnic people say they don't belong in their neighbourhood. That's over half of ethnic people who say they don't belong in their neighbourhoods. I'm sure a lot of us believe they belong somewhere, in a friend group or in a club. So if we can help others, if we can help ourselves, why not others?
My name's Elsie, and I think that one of the most damaging things that you can believe is that you don't belong, whether it's in school, in sports, or in your own home. Not belonging is a horrible, insecure feeling. Not belonging makes you feel lost, like you shouldn't be there. It can make you feel shy and anxious. It can make you feel alone. Without feeling that you can belong, it drives you to the point that you don't want to leave your house. However, if you don't feel that you belong in your house, it feels like you may have no escape. The feeling that you don't belong anywhere can be very dangerous. It can have you thinking bad thoughts, very bad thoughts. Without experiencing belonging, you'll struggle to make other people feel as if they belong. Parents that didn't grow up feeling like they belong struggle to raise children that feel like they belong because they've never experienced the feeling themselves. You can't create the feeling of belonging without knowing the feeling yourself. You alone can make someone's life that little bit easier. You never know what somebody's going through. The least you can do is make them feel like they belong.
Well, hello. My name's Ethan, and Well, now you've got the gist of belonging, how it's great to feel like you belong, how belonging is so important, but also how it can be bad if you don't belong, and how true belonging only happens when we present ourselves to the world, or how belonging doesn't require you to change who you are, it requires you to be who you are. We all know people change the way they walk, talk, speak, and look just to fit in and try to find belonging. But belonging comes from the heart, so I want you to take this talk and keep it in your head, so you can help people in the future, even if it's the littlest thing, like asking them if they want a biscuit. It could make anyone's day better. So you may as well make someone feel like they belong. Or if you don't belong, then remind yourself of the speech, so you can belong to yourself and others. So my message is to just be yourself. Don't be fake like some other people are. And also, don't rush life, because belonging will come back to bite you and make you feel like you don't belong.